Okay, we've heated up the pressure plate in the oven, and we've had the new bearing in the freezer. I'm going to fit it, the large internal side facing outwards. And there we go. So the new bearings in with this. It's got the special angle bearings in that will take more sideways pressure. Great. Okay, that's done. It's a bit hot. So leave that to cool down a bit, and then we'll actually start putting the clutch together. First thing we're going to do is we put the pressure plate in. We've got this lip here which goes upwards, and then the pressure plate will go on top. I'll wait for it to cool down, don't want to burn the clutch. I've got it pretty hot in the oven. And of course we've got these two holes here so that if I ever didn't need to knock this bearing back out again, then that's what they're for. Right, we'll leave that cool down a bit, and then we'll put the rest of the clutch together. Good stuff. Okay, so we're going to start assembling the clutch. We've got the clutch plate, and it's got some splines that stick out on one side. They go downwards, and it just pops into the clutch basket like that. Now we've got the actual pressure plate, and don't forget that our good friend Lumberjack has balanced that for me. So I'm putting it back in where he's marked it, because this is quite a heavy sort of rotating mass, and if it's out of balance, it's going to create quite a lot of vibration. So that's the ideal position we want. Then we put in the diaphragm spring or bevel spring, and that's with the outer edge upwards, so the curved sort of like a bowl shaped up to us with the outer edge uppermost. Then we've got the cover plate. Now that can go in 3 different positions. So I'm just going to put it in position 1, first position to begin with. There we go, is that? Make sure that's all located properly. Yeah. Great, okay, and then there are these small little bolts that go in to hold the whole clutch unit together, and these have some locking tabs with them, but I'm not using the locking tabs yet because I just want to assemble the whole thing and see how it's working. And if necessary, we can take this cover plate off and turn it round to see if it makes any difference, because the problem is, of course, if the clutch isn't working, we haven't got that much adjustment. You know, everything's been machined as best we can. We've got a new friction plate and so on. So I'm just going to do these up now. You're going to be careful with these bolts. I think they're high tensile, but they take an awful lot of strain from that spring. So you have to be careful doing them up. It's very easy to stretch them, and then you'll need a whole new set. Okay, so we've bolted the whole thing back together again, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the clutch pull rod in, and then I'm going to rig up a few bolt nuts and spacers on the shaft, so that by screwing down the nut it will serve to open the clutch, and then we can see how well we think the clutch is working, how well it's disengaging. So I'll rig up a few spacers and that on this shaft, and we'll take it from there. Okay, apologies, it's me rather than the clutch. What's happened is I've just come to do the last video bit of the clutch, come to edit it, and the video of me working on the clutch just isn't there. You know, I don't know whether I just didn't press record or whatever. I lost it when I was transferring it from my phone to the computer. Well, anyway, the video isn't there. It's gone. So I can't show you. I'll show you a nice, pretty picture of the engine. I forget the picture. I don't know. That's about it. I'm afraid the video that I took was isn't there. So I'm going to tell you a bit about it. But there is another video of me doing exactly that. Okay, so if you want to see the clutch being adjusted, there is another video. But what I actually did was having put all the clutch together, I then put a couple of like lock nuts on the pull rod, and that enabled me using a spanner to sort of artificially lift the pull rod to gain disengagement for the clutch. And then I used some feeler gauges to see if the lift was even all the way round. In my case, it wasn't. So I slackened everything off, and I took off the top plate, that top cover, because there's not much adjustment available, of course. So I took off that, and I didn't want to move the pressure plate because that had all been balanced by lumberjack. So anyway, I took off the top plate, I moved it round. It can go in 3 different places. I moved it round to the second possible location, screwed everything back down together, put the lock nuts on the pull rod, and this time the disengagement was virtually totally even across the whole clutch plate, which is great. It was about sort of 10-15 thou difference before, and so that's I left it, and that's how the clutch was left. And then it was all tightened up, but this time with the lock tabs on and clutch finished. So I'm sorry that for some reason the video is not there, but if you want to see a video of that process of me adjusting the clutch and measuring the play and so on, then that is on. So there's some videos of a T160 engine rebuild, and if you go to T160 engine rebuild part 35, you'll find a massive long video on doing the clutch, which is exactly the same clutch as a T150, and you can see me adjusting the clutch on that video. Okay, so apologies, but clutch finished, but the actual fitting it to the bike, putting the actual clutch into the engine, we'll see that next, but the actual finishing sort of adjusting the clutch so that I was happy with it, I'm afraid isn't here. Okay, sorry about that, but you get to see me. And here is my new haircut. I've just had it cut today. I'm a bit shorn, to say the least, but there we go. The long hair, which came in lockdowns, 2.5 years I've had that, has gone. I'm back to sort of like normal. I'm not sure about it yet, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Anyway, thanks again for watching.